HMRC employee does 3 likes. Oh, thank you very much. Say, Tom and Ben, why haven't you set up the cult of Kremlo as a real religion? Religions don't pay tax on any monies they make via donations. Also, don't forget your self-assessments are due on the 31st of the 1st, 2023. Kremlo came from space. A tax haven. Ooh. Space probably is a tax haven. Well, thank you very much. I don't know if we should start running that risk of trying to set up a religion.
Well, what are the rules? How hard is it?
What are the rules?
What are the criteria? You know, do you just need a certain number of people to hail Kremlo?
I am pretty sure we're going to get ourselves into deep water.
Yeah, because we're not going to take it seriously enough.
We're not going to take it seriously.
That's probably one of the rules.
And I think we're going to offend,
real religions.
Real religions,
yeah.
Real religious people. Also, I think the government is probably going to have something to say, and especially the tax man.
Yeah, well, they've already got all our details from the Starbucks.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Us going in. Well, the CIA has it. Has the HMRC got it?
Probably not.
Is their UK headquarters?
I don't think HMRC's on the internet yet.
Probably not. So yeah, I think maybe just dodging. I
think we'd have a better chance of going to space for a tax exemption status.
Honestly, yes.
Because it's the one place that hasn't yet been ruined by capitalism.
Space!
If Tim Curry's taught me anything.
Space is actually pretty good for this shit.
Yeah.
Edgar! I think $6 and you Edgar. And they say, have you read the 3 Body Problem trilogy?
No, Lewis recommended it to me, but I haven't got around to it.
It tries to answer the question of if life in the universe is possible. Why there is no evidence of it. It creates a sense of existential dread and is pessimistic without being too depressing. Would recommend.
I did watch the Kurzgesagt video about that. About the dark forest.
Yeah.
And if you make a peep, you get eat. Essentially, that's... I don't know if I need to read a trilogy of books to get that theory down.
Yeah, I watched the animated video read by a softly spoken German man.
Yeah.
Which, did it in 10 minutes.
It's cool. It's an interesting theory. My theory is that they just destroy themselves before you get there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I reckon everyone does a climate change or a nuclear war or an antimatter implosion, or to be able to travel through space over the vast distances, you need some kind of fucking hot tech. And I reckon anyone who's got there has not done very well with it. Fucked it up.
I think we're the first.
That's a fun theory too. We're going to be the old ones.
Yeah. Like every one of these things, there's like the progenitors, the originals, the whatever. Someone's got to be first. I reckon it's us.
Are we going to go around and jizz in all the spawning pools?
I'm going to do some of that.
Not you and me. Kremlo.
Kremlo will do that. I don't think they'll let us do it. But, we're going to go around and build pyramids everywhere.
Nice.
And have ancient tech that we are modern tech. But then...
we can be the aliens.
In 500 trillion years.
What would you teach a young civilization wrong as a joke?
Oh, jeez. There's a lot of funny things you could do.
I think you teach them a really stupid religion that's just clearly nonsense and made up.
Yeah. Well, I think just make them worship me.
Even worse.
Yeah, if I turn up in my fucking Iron Man suit and I can fly around, make them worship me. Everyone has to eat 10 peaches a day. Convert half of your economy into peach production. Something like that.
just for fun.
Yeah.
I like peaches. Oh, then you come back 100 years later because you've got high-tech, live forever technology. And you're like, they give you fucking barrels of peaches. And you're like, I've kind of gone off peaches, guys.
Yeah, I'm not into it. Not into it anymore.
Yeah, they're a bit sweet, actually. Have you got any savoury things? Yeah. And their whole civilization just fucking collapses into civil war.
Yeah, this existential crisis. They're like, we've wasted our lives. That sort of vibe. I was watching a thing about cargo cults the other day.
What? What's a cargo cult?
So this had happened like in the past on multiple different things, but then it became rife in sort of like the sort of like islands around. I don't even know what part of the map it would be.
Take me on a journey.
Asia, where during World War II, they built some air base and stuff on these islands, and there'd be like the locals that lived there who were very primitive.
Okay.
And it ended up with like there'd be people at the air base, like supplies would be coming in and then going off to boats or whatever, war stuff. And they did like a little bit of trading with some of the locals, and then the war's over and they leave, and the people on these islands were like, they didn't know a war was really going on. They didn't really understand any of this stuff.
So they're just like the sky people came and then the sky people left.
And so then these like sort of weird religions kind of ended up building up around it, where they thought like, oh, because before there'd be people there that were wearing like these special headsets. So they made those out of like coconuts, and they would stand on the runway and do signaling because they thought that's what caused the planes to come.
Oh my God.
They would build their own like radio towers, but they didn't know that radios were in there, so they just go up there and do stuff
and try to like replicate,
like
what
mimic
happened.
this stuff, and it turns into this weird religion.
God,
and
that's amazing.
to try and get people to come back to bring all of this cool stuff. Because they would bring
work,
medicine.
Like many generations later, like were people still doing it? Like
so,
50
I think
years
they
on?
like because this is happening in like the 40s, 50s, and so I think within a few years, like it kind of like collapses and falls apart, or people do start going there and trading with these people. So it doesn't last a super long time, but at the time,
I love the idea of eventually the people who originally saw it died off.
Yeah, and then it just keeps going,
and no one even knows why anymore at that
it's
point.
like, oh yeah, the skybirds come down, and yeah, like because at the time they were like the if they're bringing antibiotics or whatever medicine that these people have never had before, and suddenly like, oh, someone gets ill, they go to the army base and they're like, fuck it, like, here, have this thing. Before, what would have been a death sentence injury for someone, now they live. These magic people are turning up with that stuff, like hard liquor, guns. Now all of that, they've run out of all of that stuff and they want it again. It's crazy. Like such a wacky,
that's fascinating.
wacky thing.
Good shit.
There's lots of pictures of the fake airports they built. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I need to see. That. Cargo cart fake airport. It's fascinating. I had no idea.
But then,
oh shit! Look at that little like radar thing made out of straw. That's like actually pretty fucking legit. Better than I could make.
yeah, jeez. But in turn, weirdly, some of them ended up working because they'd then tell these stories and go off to other places, and they'd be like, well, the first thing we need is a runway.
Yeah.
Like, they have this big thing. And so they actually ended up making a runway, and then planes would be like, we need somewhere to set down. Well, that's perfect.
That's actually a runway. So it did summon a fucking iron
and
skybird.
so some people did end up summoning the skybird. Like,
I love it.
it's such like a wacky quirk.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just like a fascinating, like little just thing that happened.
Wow. Can we get cargo cult recognized as tax-free religion?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah. But it's Kremlo themed.
I think that would work. When we stop streaming on the Wednesday, I hope that some VOD gobbos will be there. Like, how do we bring it back? Keep just praising Kremlo and every Wednesday turning up. Oh, if we pray hard enough.
And the one time we were ill and the stream didn't happen was the one time they didn't praise Kremlo.
Oh.
And they're like, no, it's my fault!
It's all me! I'm sorry, Kremlo! Yeah. I think that's how it works.